that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Happy Tuesday. I believe it is Tuesday. How are you all doing in YouTube land? It is your girl Charisma, and I am back to talk about a hot topic. Hey there, Belinda. How are you doing today? So, today I wanted to talk about this video I watched. I was really just doing some YouTube research and watching some different YouTubers, and I came up on this video by Chrystal Evans. And she's popular podcaster, popular YouTuber, speaking about the word and Christianity. And she said, she did a video called Don't Quit, Keep Going, and Keep Growing. And don't quit, keep going, and keep growing. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds like, a video I would want to hear. I feel like that sounds really inspirational. That sounds pretty amazing. Let's talk about not quitting and keep going. So that's what I want to talk about today and what that means. Because when I got to looking at the video a bit more detailed, it was more about not quitting your job and how to keep going. And, we're just not about that life. So I wanted to talk about that and kind of chit chat on that topic and see how you all feel about that. So, you know, sh- let me take a minute to do some shout outs. I'm doing well, Belinda. I hope you're doing well too. I hope everything is going great. I saw your goals and how you're just doing amazing out here. Black Girl Magic. I want to see who's on tonight. Say hello. Let's see how everyone is doing. So, in the meantime, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, basically, Chrystal was talking about the upcoming recession. So at this point, it's definitely forecasted that we are going into a recession. Interest rates are going up, housing prices are going down. We're seeing that houses are staying on the market longer. The prices are, you can find something $5,000 less, $25,000 less. I saw one place it said it was down $100,000. The average house is staying on the market now for about a month. With the upcoming recession, we're going to see that gas prices are going to go up in addition to the hurricane. And we're going to see that, she was basically saying that some of these jobs that we're doing all of these hiring, we really need somebody to work for us. We're going to pay you $20 an hour to work at McDonald's. Yeah, basically, she was saying that money has to come from somewhere, right? Like, we didn't pull these $20 an hour out our hat and, decide to give it to you. And so she was saying this money has to go somewhere because all of this is a cycle, right? So what goes up must come down. And that, people got on these jobs, they were jumping job to job. And now the question is, are they going to be able to keep these jobs? And are they going to be able to keep them at these prices at these wages that were given out? Because I don't know, if but even the wages are going down. So those jobs that were paying 18, 19, $20 an hour for work that used to be paid $9 an hour, they may be paying like $12, $13 now, right? In some places, the minimum wage is going up. But, I know a state like mine, the minimum wage, I think it's like somewhere between $6 and $8 an hour. I don't know. What is the minimum wage in y'all states? Because Georgia I feel like it's got to be behind the times. Because I don't know what a person can do with $6 to $8 an hour. But basically, so let me know what minimum wage is in your area. And say, hey y'all, how you doing? So I'm gonna wait for you all to let me know about that. But basically, Chrystal was saying that, people are going to start being fired, right? And the layoffs are going to happen now that we're going into this recession. We're going into the downturn. And a lot of people have been talking about this downturn, especially in the real estate market. One of the reasons why I came back from overseas to the States was for this downturn, because I knew that once it happened, basically cash is king, and cash was going to start making you some money if you can buy your properties now. Well, what she was saying, Chrystal was saying that if you're on a job, you need to stay loyal to your job. This is the time to make sure you're staying on that job, you're staying loyal, you don't quit, and you do what the job requires you to do at this point in time. That's a little different than we think about here. Like I said, here in the States, not in the States, here in Georgia, our minimum wage is $6 to $8 an hour, somewhere between that. Belinda said in Oakland is $15.06 an hour. Wow. Literally double our minimum wage. It's crazy. What is it in some of your other states? Yeah. So when you look at saying, okay, let's stay loyal to this job, right? So don't leave. So basically she's saying don't leave and jump to other jobs. If you jump to other jobs, last one hired is the first one fired. If you've only been on your job a couple of months, you may end up losing your job because you're probably getting paid a higher wage, right? You're dispensable. Like, you're not that important to these companies. And as she talked about how we should stay on these jobs, she talked about her father working this job when he was 18, and he worked as a dishwasher at this particular job. And from there, he became a driver. And there were, and because he was loyal to this Jewish guy that he worked for, this particular guy put him through college. And he said that her father went on to be a minister. However, the Jewish guy, they're still very close to the family, and he said he would have made him like next in line for his company had he still been with him, right? Had he come back. And I had some mixed feelings about this, right? First, because the loyalty to a company years ago compared to the loyalty to a company now, yeah, these companies are not loyal to us. We don't get pension. We don't get a gold watch. We got to invest in our own 401k. We got to make sure we got our own retirement plan. And frankly, they don't mind firing you. Like, you are definitely dispensable. Like, they can get rid of you at any point for any reason. I know in Georgia, we're a right to fire, right to hire state. So you could be fired for any. They don't even have to give you a reason to fire you. And so listening to this, I'm like, your father back in the day, all of our parents back in the day, their jobs were different than our jobs are now. And frankly, I don't know that I can subscribe to that whole stay loyal to your job so you have a job. Make sure you don't leave. Make sure you're not hopping around. Make sure you're going above and beyond for this job. And let me know what y'all think about this, because I'm trying to figure out if this is just me. As we go into this recession, I more so think it's time for you to get that side hustle up. Like, if you have not done so already, you need to make sure you got that side hustle to the point where it's going to be making some money soon. Because what's going to happen is, in my opinion, you're going to stay loyal to these jobs, and either you or somebody else you're going to see is not sitting in that seat anymore. They are not this loyalty that you may try to have towards them doesn't necessarily trickle down towards you. If the budget doesn't match you, they will fire you. It don't matter how long you've been there. I feel like it don't matter if you've been there for 20 years or 2 months. If if you're not in the budget, you're not in the budget. We've seen plenty of times where they cut people from the CEOs to the new people coming in. They cut those CEOs and the quickness and bring in a new person. Or they combine the jobs and bring in one person. So to sit here, in my opinion, to say, let's stay loyal to this job. Let's make sure we're working our 40 hours. Make sure we're going above and beyond. I don't know. Like, let me know what y'all think about that, because I feel like, how about you take that extra above and beyond time and energy and you put it into, Belinda said it, multiple streams of income. You make sure you are financially stable so that if you lose one, you still have more left. Like, I'm really not trying to be that person that's like, oh, I got fired from this job. What am I going to do now? And I was just talking to my daughter about that. I'm like, y'all need to get a side hustle. Y'all need something that's going to make some money, because when these jobs bring people up on the chopping block, they don't care that you got bills to pay, you got things to do, you got plans. They don't care about any of that. You know, I think about, I mean, I've seen you see those people that's been at their job for years. They've been there, they do everything, they go above and beyond. They work nights, they work weekends, they work when the rest of us sleep, not even thinking about working. They out there still at that job going hard. I think of a coworker that I had. Like, she was at that job going hard. And when I tell y'all, when she passed away, they act like they could care less. It was business as usual. She would work, and I'm a nurse practitioner. At the time I was an RN. She would work on call and wouldn't even get on call pay, y'all. She would be volunteering for her patients. They will always call her, whether it was morning, noon, or night, whether it was weekends or whatever. They did not care. The second she made those people upset, they put her out of there. They gave her a different job. It was harder, it was a lot more work. And I'm telling you, when she passed away, they could care less. So when I read somebody like Chrystal or somebody else telling us we need to be loyal to our job and we need to make sure we stay the course, make sure we go above and beyond, make sure we put in 130%. Nah, I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that at all. I feel like, yes, if you're gonna do a job, make sure you do it right, right? I feel like, if you're at your job, maybe not bounce back and forth jobs at that time. But more importantly, find you something else to invest in. Like, for me, I do real estate investing. Right now is a great time to get into real estate investing. These prices are going down. um these prices are going down on these houses. The houses are sitting on the market longer. You're going to start to see it's going to go down more and more. And the thing about real estate is the rental prices typically stay the same. So what rent is now is typically going to be rent later, right? So you don't even really have to worry about, oh, well, I'm going to lose money from my renters, because that's typically not the case. Historically, rents stay around about the same. But if the housing prices go lower, then there you have it. You buy that house low and you rent it out and you make the money. You make passive income. You make mailbox money. And that's what we really need to be doing, instead of the loyalty that goes to a job, because that job may or may not be there tomorrow. If it's there, great. If it's not, what are you going to do? And that's where that passive income comes in. That's where that's not loyalty. That's where that mailbox money comes in. And I know some of you probably know, because you probably follow Exodus Summit, but I'll be speaking at Exodus Summit about real estate. And there's other people that's speaking about all different things, making money doing something that you love to do, making money in the stock market. Now I've done the stock market, y'all, and I try to day trade, and I feel like I have a little tad bit of ADHD. So the thing about day trading, if you're not familiar with day trading, you got to pay attention, because at any point those numbers could drop, or go high, and you got to sell and you got to set certain parameters. And y'all, you can lose some money really, really quick. You can make a lot of money, but you can lose money very quickly. So after losing a good amount of money for me, it wasn't billions or millions or thousands, but it was enough for me. I decided that I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm pretty bad at. And I just decided I just wasn't good at that. So I'm just going to leave my money with the big boys and let them invest that money. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to keep. No, we're not gonna keep taking my money because I'm just foolish. I can only be, I can only be foolish, but so long before I'm like, yeah, that's a no for me. Hey, April, how are you this evening? It's only Tuesday, y'all. It's not even Wednesday yet. It's only Tuesday. Uh, so, but it's you really do have to do those multiple streams. So one thing I am doing, I'm going to be talking about real estate at the Exodus Summit. But for those that may be interested in real estate and you're one of those people that's like, okay, I see the market changing. I see that housing prices are going down. I can believe that there's a recession coming. Like I can see the writing on the wall. I know my gas prices are about to increase. Um, right coming up during this winter. If you want to do that, I am going to be doing a boot camp starting in November. Every Monday we'll be doing a boot camp to invest in real estate. For those that already have a property, I'm actually going to be doing a master class to teach you how to get your first tenant and vet that tenant correctly so that you can have longevity. Because a lot of people that jump out of real estate is because they, decided to be a landlord and it's not something they really know how to do. So I'm going to post that link when we're done. Like I said, I'll be doing the master class. It's a 2-hour master class on how to get and vet your tenant. And I'll also be doing a real estate boot camp that will be every Monday for a month. And that's going to be in November. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll post that link. But regardless of what you do, I think it's really important that you have another source of income. Don't have these people out here, making you think that your job is going to take care of you forever, because they may not. As we everyday people go through a recession, these companies go through a recession too. Like they gotta cut the purse strings. They gotta, rein some things in. They gotta figure out where their money is coming from as well. And that's so important. Like, and you need to be doing the same thing. You need to be bringing in some more of your money. You need to be paying attention. If you're still traveling, make sure you're looking at these flight prices. Get on Skyscanner, set some of these parameters to make sure when these flight prices go down. Make sure you holding on to some of your cash, because that will be needed and coming up soon, especially here in America. The other thing is some of these other countries are experiencing a recession too. You just may not know about it or hear about it as much because you're not in these other countries, but they're experiencing some things too. Everybody that gave out this COVID relief, out these COVID relief funds, what they're finding is that they're all going through, some type of issues where they're starting to experience some things that are pointing to a recession. So it's not just America, it's several countries out here. So you want to make sure that you're pulling back some of your money, you're tucking it in, putting it away for a rainy day. If you live under your means with your current income, you put some of that money up, so yeah, hold on to your day job if you feel like you need to. Definitely, I'm not saying go out here, quit your day job, but if you need to, you hold on to it, but that you have a plan in your pocket just in case things don't go right. Because after COVID, after everything that's gone on, we don't really know what's about to happen in this recession. We don't really know how low things are really going to go. Is it going to be like it was back in what, 08, 09? Nobody thinks that we'll get that bad again, because that recession was caused by the banks, right? And this recession is really, it was between COVID, the government pumping money back them and trying to get people to start spending. Then, we're spending money that we really don't have. People stop working, they people just decided they made more money on unemployed. People were making more money on unemployment than they were working. So what happened was that these companies had to increase the amount of money they were paying, and they increased their amount of money they were paying because they had to pay people more than unemployment to get people to come to work. And a lot of people don't realize that those are the that are causing this recession. That if unemployment is paying you $12 an hour to sit at home, you don't feel like going to work for $13 or $14 an hour if you could just sit at home for 12. And people got really comfortable on that $12 an hour or whatever it is. I actually don't even know what it was. But prices had to go up. In the real estate business, you had to pay contractors now $15 an hour, whereas before you could pay them $10 an hour. Well, where do you think that money is going to come from? Because it's got to come from somewhere. So make sure you got multiple streams of income. Don't just depend on this job. Personally, I'm like, don't be over here giving 120% to McDonald's when you can give 100% to McDonald's, but take that other 20% and invest in yourself. Invest that extra energy into something that you want to do. Where do you want to be at in 5-10 years? Maybe start, if you want to write, go ahead and start writing. Do some of these KDP journals. Start making your coloring book. I saw this one lady on YouTube. She making money doing crossword puzzles, doing the KDP Amazon she's selling crossword puzzles. You only got to make a book of one. You don't even have to do them over and over. You make them and you market them. If you're a writer, start doing some writing. Start making some journals. Do a coloring book. It's all kinds of things that you can do out here. Yes, girl. Yes. But it's all kinds of hustles you can do out here on Exodus. I know they're talking about a girl that sell feet pics. Like, I don't know what qualifies as a good feet pic. I'm not really sure. However, if I can just do some pictures of some body parts that are, not the body parts that need to be covered up, but if I could do some pictures of my toes or some pictures of my nails, then I'm going to do that. Like, why do I need, why shouldn't I be out here making some more income? Why shouldn't I be out here doing some other things? So if this job later decides, well, I don't, we're going to have to lay you off. Well, what did I do wrong? Oh, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just over budget. We had to pick somebody, so we picked you. What are you going to do then if you're just dependent on this one stream of income? If you're just staying at this job hoping that they are going to take care of you for the next 20 to 30 years, and they decide not to, well, let's scratch that. If you hope they're going to take care of you for the next 5 years, right, and they decide not to, then what do? What is your backup plan? So I'm sorry, I can't agree with that whole let's stay at this job forever. Let's give 120%. Let's go above and beyond. I forgot what they said. They're calling, the generation is calling it. What did they say? What did they say they're calling it? Like silent quitting. I think I've been silently quitting all my life then, because I go to my job and I do what I need to do. Sometimes I go a little bit above and beyond, but I don't go necessarily with that mindset. I go with the mindset that I'm here to do my job and I'm going to do my job. If I do some extra while I'm here, great. When it's quitting time, I leave. And my managers have always known that when it's time to go, I'm going. I got a family, I got kids, I got my own stuff to do. I don't care if I'm going home to go to sleep. It don't matter what I'm doing. I read this one article where the guy was saying that his manager scheduled a meeting at 5 p.m. where they get off at 5 p.m. So when he scheduled the meeting at 5 p.m., he was saying, oh, well, I can only stay for 30 minutes because I have something to do after the meeting. And the guy was like, well, what do you have to do? He was like, well, I have an event. Well, the thing is, why are you questioning what I have to do after this meeting if I get off work at 5 o'clock? Why does it matter what I have to do at 5:30? So the guy ends up talking to his manager's manager and saying, because the manager told him, says, well, you need to be available an hour before your start time and an hour after your ending time. So you start at 9, you need to be available at 8. You end at 5, you need to be available till 6. So he asks the manager's manager and says, well, are you all going to start compensating me from 8 to 6 since you want me to be available from 8 to 6? Because I originally started and I signed up for this job to be from 9 to 5. And the manager was like, oh, no, you don't have to be available from 8 to 6. So, of course, his manager was mad. So this is what the generation now calls silently quitting. I don't even know how they're silently quitting, y'all. Let me know if I'm wrong. Like, what are y'all thinking about this? Because to me, that just sounds like I did my job for the hours that you paid me to do my job. And you want me to do more work for free. Why am I doing more work for free? Like, I get paid to do a job. I get paid to do what you ask of me to do. I start when you tell me to start, and I end when you tell me to end. Why would I do 2 hours more than I'm paid to do without getting reimbursed? And this is why you need to have your own stuff. This is why, even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, everybody don't want to be an entrepreneur. It's not for everybody. That's fine. Just make sure you got some other streams so you have more money coming in. So if you lose one, if you lost your job tomorrow, have something else that's bringing in that income. And look at your expenses. Make sure that your expenses aren't more than the income that you're bringing in. And if they are, or even if they're close, how can you decrease those expenses? Look at your credit. What is it that you're doing? What kind of outstanding credit cards or loans or whatever do you have out there that you can start paying off? You need to be ready for this recession, whether that's making sure that you're good, whether that's saying I want to invest, maybe do some real estate, whether that's saying I'm about to pick up this other project and start working here, do a little DoorDash, whatever have you, to get some extra money to throw at that. Because when this recession hit, it's going to hit some people harder than others. When y'all start getting these high gas bills because the price of gas is going up between the war and the hurricane, oh yeah, it's gonna hit. It's gonna definitely hit hard. Quiet quitting. That's what it's called. You said I started doing it after I got sick of going above and beyond, but getting the same or worse than people who do less. Yeah, that's what it's called, quiet quitting. And I was just like, I just felt like, I guess I've always been quiet quitting, but I didn't see it as quiet quitting. I just thought it was doing my job. I mean, I'm doing what you pay me to do. Like, why is that? And why does that have a negative connotation? Why is that a negative thing? Because I'm doing the job that you paid me to do. If you want me to do more, or if you want me to work longer hours, then that's what you need me to do. I was told by a supervisor, oh, Charisma, you're the only person that bills for training. Did y'all not require me to be in training? Like, did y'all not take this hour or two out my day and say I have to attend this training? Then yeah, you're going to pay me for this training, because you don't pay me hourly. You pay me based off of what I do. So at this time, you want me to devote these 2 hours of my day to your training. Therefore, you will reimburse me for these 2 hours of my day. I'm not doing this because this is something I want to do. I didn't wake up today and say, I think I want to attend the training. I didn't do that. You want me to attend the training. to make sure that I'm on board with what's going on, any changes in the system, anything that new that's come down the pipeline. So I'm going to attend the training because that's what a good employee does, right? However, as a good employer, you're going to reimburse me for that time for that training because I'm not coming here for free. This is not volunteer work, right? And so, for that reason, I need to be properly reimbursed. And why you feel like that's a problem, you felt the need to bring that up. That's that's fine. I'm still going to bill you for this time though. Like don't get it twisted. Nothing changed here. I'm still billing you for this time. The same way that if I decided to take that time off, you would dock that from my pay because I'm not present. So I don't get that whole quiet quitting thing. Like, I don't get that. I just look at it as we're doing our job. Like, I don't know. But, I feel like I don't know. I guess that's a millennial thing. I mean, I'm a millennial, but I'm on that cusp. So I just feel like, first of all, we got to have a term for everything. Everything got to have a term. Like, we just can't let things be. We got to give a name to everything, right? But I just feel like so much is required of us. We do so much, yet you all require more and you pull out more and you give us nothing. You give us a paycheck. You don't give us extra PTO time. You don't give us extra time off, which is why so many of us are doing the damn great escape. Because if you were giving us time off to have a vacation, we wouldn't be escaping in places like New Zealand, Canada, all of that. They get all of these weeks. They get months, even over a year in some places for maternity leave. They get a holiday. You know why they call it a holiday? Because it ain't 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not a holiday. They have a whole month. And my one of my friends in Australia, they get like 6 weeks. So when they come over to the US, they go all around the US. They get 6 to 8 weeks. They go to Atlanta. They go to New York. They go to California. They do a full world tour during their holiday. Not a little vacation time or paid time off with a week or two. They get in a whole holiday. And that is the difference. We're not getting a holiday. We're not getting compensated for our time. We're not working hard because they're then going to give us a few weeks off of work. We're not doing that. We're working hard for what? 7 hours of pay period? 2.5 hours pay period. Have you actually looked at how much time off PTO you gain per pay period? It is laughable, the amount of time that you get off. So yes, have a hot side hustle. Have maybe 2 or 3 of them. Have something you focusing on to bring in some income. Personally, I won't say I'm lazy, but I don't like to do a lot of nitpicky things, which is why I do real estate, because I don't have to do stuff every day. I don't like things that I have to repeat the process, because I feel like if I'm gonna do that, then I might as well work, right? So I like things that bring in money while I'm asleep. So things like, the journals. If I could do a crossword puzzle, I probably figure out how to do a crossword puzzle. The real estate, things that I can do once that bring in extra money. I do coaching as well, but I like to do classes. I don't mind coaching one-on-one, but I like classes, because let's do something where we're putting out and we're getting back a whole lot more. We want to multiply what we're getting back when we're putting things out, so we don't want to be putting out, 5 days a week, but we're not getting back enough to take care of us for the next couple of weeks. You see what I'm saying? The goal in my mind is not to trade a job for. And, that was one of the things when I looked at my goals and the things that I was doing, that I had to really focus on and say to myself, I don't want to trade a job for another job. Yes, I may be working for myself. However, excuse me, I don't want to open up a restaurant and then have to work the restaurant, right? Because I just gave myself another job. My name is on the restaurant, but outside of that, it's really another job. Like, I don't want to do that. And for some people, that's great. We need people to create those types of things. We need them to create, have new restaurants. We need them to run spas. Somebody needs to do my massage that I get every week, right? We need them to do these different things, but I don't want to be my business. Like, I don't want my business. I want my business to stand alone. I don't want it to function based off of my back. I think about, I had this massage therapist I went to once, actually recently, and she was doing a massage, y'all, and her fingers were like cracking. And I'm thinking, this lady needs to retire because the arthritis in her hands is going to be outrageous. But, and she's the sweetest thing, but I'm like, oh my God. Like, but the thing is, how is she going to retire if she is her business? She is how she makes money. Does she get a 1099? Probably so. However, she is her business. So if she doesn't do the massages, she doesn't make money. She has never scaled her business up to the next level, right? She has never went out and opened up her own massage parlor and hired other masseuses. She is working at a massage parlor as one of their masseuses, right? So if you don't scale up your business, then you then become another employee. You're an employee in a different way because now your name is on the building, but you're still an employee. You're still working. A business where I'm still working every day, I'm not about that life, because I can work every day at a company and make a good salary, get some benefits, and then go home. When it's your business, you don't get that option. You are the business. You have to work the business. So you want to make sure when you're looking at your streams of income, make sure it's not going to bring you back breaking labor. When you're doing DoorDash and you're doing Uber, that's cool when you're building up your funds, but make sure you're doing something in that background that's going to make you money while you're on a holiday, not on these 2-week vacations. Because I'm telling y'all, these 2-week vacations are for the birds. 2-week vacations should be outlawed. It should be no less than 4 weeks in a year. And so make sure that what you're doing is you some funds so you can go on a holiday. I'm trying to be like the Canadians and the Europeans. I'm going on an 8-week holiday because you know what? If we had an 8-week holiday, maybe so many of us would not be trying to leave America. Maybe so many of us would not be quitting our jobs. Maybe so many of us would be quiet quitting. But because our employers are not taking care of us, we got to take care of ourselves. We leaving. We're part of this great resignation. We are leaving. Some of us ain't even got the funds that you would think you should have to leave, but we getting up out of here. Funds or no funds. We gonna go to a country that only costs about $400 for rent. You can live on $1,200 a month, and we just gonna do the damn thing because we are tired. We are tired of working hard for employers that don't give a damn about us. So if you are at that point, or you think you may get to that point, you need to start making some changes now. Take that extra 20%. Don't give it to your job. Give them the 100%. That's cool. It's a little standard deviation. Some weeks you may get 90. Other weeks you may get 110. If I'm feeling good, got a little pep in my step, you may get that 110 that week. Don't be expecting that 110 every week, though. Every week is not going to be 110 week. Some weeks going to be a 90. It's going to be some weeks that we barely getting up out this bed to do this job. But what we are going to do is consistently give that 20 to 25% to our own stuff, whether that is our feet pics, our journal, Whether we investing in stocks, getting up about 4 o'clock to do our day trading, whether we looking at properties, investing in real estate, we are going to invest in ourselves. We're going to get somebody to help us, whether that's a friend in the business, get you a coach. Could hell, even they say even Oprah and Warren Buffett got coaches. I said, well, hell, if they got a coach, I damn sure need a coach. They may not see that coach all the time, but they sure do see that damn coach enough to make sure they still holding on to those millions. So if you need to get you a coach, whatever you need to do to excel to the next level, if it's something you don't know a whole lot about doing and you need to take a class, read a book, get on, watch a YouTube, do what you need to do to excel, because this recession is coming, and it's coming hard, and it's coming fast. You may not necessarily see it, but the writing is on the wall. And if somebody's telling you it's not, turn on CNN and see if you don't find out that it is. It's coming, and it's coming with a vengeance. So you need to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to recession proof your life. So that whole, like she said, like Chrystal said, stay at that job, make sure you're safe. Boo, you're not safe. You're not. I'm just going to be honest. You are not safe. It don't matter how long you've been at that job. It don't matter if you've been there for 20 years or 20 days. You are not safe. I don't know about y'all, but it has been plenty of people I've seen at these jobs that's been here a long time, and that don't mean nothing. They will fire them with the quickness. I learned that very early. So I program myself accordingly. Oh, okay. I'm worthless. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a number on your payroll. If I drop dead tomorrow, you replace my number with somebody else. So let me do what I need to do to build my generational wealth. Let me do what I need to do to make sure I'm safe. Let me do what I need to do and have my 10% in the bank. Make sure I'm taking out that 10%, putting it in a savings account. Make sure I have my what did they used to call it? My emergency fund. Make sure I have my emergency fund. Make sure I got my side hustles or my investments, whatever those may be. So that's what we need to be doing. That's how we need to be getting ready for this recession that's coming up. Making sure that we recession proof ourselves, because if it ain't one job, it's another job. There will always be places hiring. Is it a place that you want to work at? It may not be, right? But there's always going to be somebody hiring in the field. I'm looking where I was reading an article in Hawaii. They were saying they got a shortage of nurse instructors. So they couldn't accept like 600 nursing students. However, they pay nurse instructors badly. You can make more money working at the hospital as a registered nurse on the floor. Honestly, obviously, that shortage ain't that bad because y'all ain't raised y'all prices yet. Y'all charging these students all this money to go to school, but y'all don't see the worth in a nurse instructor to raise your prices. People put they think it belongs. It's supply and demand. So I'm just saying, do what you need to do to recession proof yourself and be ready for all of this to come. Like I said, if you're interested in real estate, I'm doing the classes. I'm doing a month-long boot camp. We meet once a week, and I'm also doing a 2-hour master class, so you can get your first tenant and vet them properly so you have longevity. So you're not one of these people talking about, well, my tenant destroyed my house. My tenant did A, B, C, or D. So I'll post that link. But whatever it is, make sure you do it and you do it well. The same 120% y'all been giving your job, you make sure you start to give yourself, right? I've been talking a lot. Do y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns? It's one of those kind of nights. Questions, comments, or concerns? I had to get something to drink, y'all. Let me know, what are y'all doing? Is this something you thought about? Have you been thinking about the recession at all? Are you concerned? Have you kind of seen these changes in the market? I mean, even with the stock market dropped a good amount. It didn't drop like it was during COVID, but it dropped a good amount. I stopped, y'all. I stopped even following my stocks. I know it's horrible. I don't even look at them no more. I kind of feel like at this point I'm in it for the long run. I'll just leave them for a couple of years and come back and look at them later and be like, "Ooh, that did great." I wouldn't recommend that. Um, my big money is in a big stock fund, so I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody do that. Don't take, there's some things I can advise you on. Stocks is not one of them. Don't take stock advice from me. Belinda said she could see that there's less jobs in her industry. Yeah, we're definitely going into a recession. I know in the real estate industry, they're saying hold your cash unless you get a really good deal because first, second quarter, we're going to start to see prices dropped a lot. Um, Belinda says she interviewed for a job and was told the job was put on hold. Yeah. And even though it seems like a lot of people still hiring, we're going to start seeing, and it'll probably be from the top down, not necessarily like the entry level jobs, but we're going to start seeing more of these jobs that's put on hold, more of these jobs they're going to snatch back, oh, we're not hiring for that. Start seeing that the entry level amount that they're hiring you at is going to start decreasing. One of the things, I talk to people about is these short-term rentals. Everybody is, oh, I'm going to do short-term rentals. Oh, I'm going to do Airbnb. I'm going to tell y'all, it's not recession proof. Short-term rentals and Airbnb are not recession proof. The last thing I would invest in is a short-term rental when people are holding their dollars and their pennies. Anybody in the hotel industry will tell you that their decreases during recessions. Nobody's going on vacation. Yeah, nomads and travelers, we're going places, but your average people, your families and stuff, they're not vacationing like they did before. And COVID has given people an inflated view of short-term rentals. They're thinking, oh, that Airbnb money is going to be there forever. In my short-term rental group, those people are talking about how their units are going vacant, for a month or two. They're barely getting any bookings. Before where those bookings were filling up fast, now they don't have anything. They've paid all of this money. And I've told people from the beginning, do not buy a house based off of short-term rental money. That $4,000 is not guaranteed. You need to buy that house and make sure that those numbers make sense based off of a long-term rental. Because just like everything else, you need a backup plan to the backup plan. And if you can't rent it out as an Airbnb, what are you going to do if that mortgage costs more than the average rental? Now you stuck with this house that you can't do nothing with. But get a renter in there, and if that renter isn't paying what you would have made from Airbnb and you based your numbers off of that, you are screwed. And guess what? In this market, you ain't selling that house for that price. And somebody like me, I'll come in and give you a low offer. I'll take your house and rent it out. But I'm definitely not giving you what you paid for it because you overpaid. So, that's the thing. The writing is on the wall. These jobs about to tighten up these reins. It's about to get real. It's about to get real quick. So I hope y'all ready. If you at that job, maybe you should stay at that job. And maybe this isn't the time to bounce around, but you better make sure you got some other sources of income. Yeah. Let's see. Like the page, please do give me a little like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think I'm at $6.99. I'm like, that number is making me mad. Let me go ahead and push me up to 700 at least. Like, you can't give me that one. Let me get that one. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and if you like this video, please share it. Let me see. I'm getting into freedom. Do you know of any grants or programs to help you with home restoration, roof, drywall repair? That is going to be first based off of if this is a personal home or if this is an investment property. Um, if this is your personal home, there probably are some programs out there you can look into. If it's an investment property, they probably not going to help you. I'm just going to be honest. If you have a loan, you can always look into doing a HELOC. And with the HELOC, you can use that money to take care of those things. And the rate for a HELOC isn't too bad right now, but they do fluctuate. So they will fluctuate until you pay them back. So make sure you got a plan to pay them back. Yeah.